Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm out in the garden right now. This year I don't think I did as good as I could have. I know I jumped the gun on planting stuff. I didn't have a watering system down. I feel like that kind of held me back a bit and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you guys what we got going on in the garden and things like that. So to start off, in this first row we have carrots. They aren't getting very big, which is kind of sad. They are like really small and stuff like that. I think it's just because there's not enough nutrients in the ground. Over here we have a cucumber plant right here that is actually producing some cucumbers finally. We do have an onion plant right here and an asterium. Then we also have this cucumber plant that is producing so far one cucumber. This is a cucumber plant also. One cucumber plant. Dill, there's loads of dill. All the little yellow flowers are dill. Here's another cucumber plant. Cucumber, this one I don't think has anything on it yet. I was like, just kidding, there's one little tiny one. And then I have this tiny cucumber plant going too. As for these next couple rows, I have obviously a bunch of dill, and there's a bunch of like peas and stuff like that. Obviously I need to weed. It's getting ahead of me. So yeah, we have all of the peas right here. This next row, we have potatoes, and some of them are almost ready to be picked, especially like this one right here. I'm just waiting for the leaves to almost die and stuff like that, but I have 10 plants, and so far I've only harvested one, which I got 4 potatoes from. Next we got a tomato plant here, which I highly doubt it's going to give me anything before frost. And then this tomato plant right here. And then I have a couple of basil plants in through there. These are my eldest son's flowers that he is growing. They're pretty sunflowers. So this one actually just bloomed a couple of days ago. So next we have is our corn and green beans. As you can tell, I definitely need to add more stuff to my soil and stuff next year, because literally my corn is like 2 feet tall, if that. But what's interesting though is that I had one do it and they're actually producing corn. I haven't picked any yet or anything like that to see if they've are good enough to eat. Then I have green bean plants. I have yet to pick anything. They haven't had anything yet. Oh, just kidding, look at this. So there's at least one green bean growing. I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 or 9 of the green beans. So hopefully we'll get something before it gets too much. So yeah. And this is honestly all that I've gotten to grow this year. I did have some wheat that grew and stuff like that, and it kind of has been getting eaten. I don't know if it's from the gophers or from the rabbits or what. I haven't been able to figure out what. So it hasn't really given me anything yet and hasn't really grown that much. I tried planting some pumpkin like in the far back here in my garden, and it didn't grow. But I do have some volunteer pumpkins in my compost and stuff like that. So we do have 6 drakes over here. My plan is to keep one. Let's see if he'll come out. He's more of like a, there he is, kind of in the back, more of a grayish kind of khaki Campbell and stuff like that. So we do have about 16 ducks. 16? I can't remember. There's 6 boys and 8 girls, so 14. I know my boys don't have a big enough area, I know, but I've been working on something that I'll show you here in just a minute. My girls, the one that's in the very front is Blue. She's our Rowan duck, and then the rest of them are all khaki Campbells and stuff like that. So we actually had one khaki Campbell start laying. So now instead of just getting one egg, we've been actually getting 2 eggs for like the past week, I think, like that. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see if more will start laying, because that'd be just awesome. Here we have is our goats. We have Mopsy and Flopsy, and then we have Snickers right here, and Bryn and George. George I'm actually going to be selling hopefully here soon, but I don't know yet. But the reason why they're all in here is because I have my pest people coming to spray later this afternoon, and I want them to spray in my backyard where my dogs are at, and I kind of need to move animals around and stuff like that to make do so they can spray back there and stuff like that. So I've showed them before. Here's Elliot. He's my main man for all of my babies so far. Lightning I just got in April, I believe. And so he is, I'm hoping to breed to 2 of them, Snickers and Bryn, next year, April. So we're going to figure that one out eventually. Lastly, I am going to move Pipsqueak out of here later this afternoon when my pest people come, and I'm going to let my dogs out and roam this for a little bit. The reason why Pipsqueak is over here by herself, Flopsy and Momsy were over here with her this morning, but I moved them so that way when the pest people are here, I don't have to juggle too much, and I just can put her on a rope out here and she can eat weeds somewhere while they're here and stuff like that, and until I can get my dogs put back in their spot. So she might be out for like an hour or so. Reason why she's also not in that other pen with the other 3 babies is because Bryn and George are actually her babies, and I'm wanting to wean them and have her dry up and stuff like that. So she doesn't look too bad right now. Her udder's definitely gone down. It's been about, I think, like a week and a half or so since I moved her away from her babies, and I have let them drink off of her once since then, and that's because she was just really tight and really engorged and stuff like that. But I'm hoping she'll be dried up and stuff like that in the next like couple weeks and things like that, so that way I can still put them with babies and hopefully they won't sit here and drink off of her and stuff like that. My plan for Flopsy and Mopsy and Pipsqueak is to actually breed them here come November time and stuff like that. So they'll be due hopefully around March, April time. So like springtime next year and things like that is kind of what I'm thinking. This right here is actually what I have for the boys. I know it doesn't look too grand, whatever, but I'm using what we got. I just have to finish putting boards right here, across this way, and over there, and then on the top. And then I can have them in there. I was hoping to do this today, but I've had a couple of appointments and errands come up, so I'm not going to be able to finish it today. Hopefully, at least by tomorrow, I can finish it, and the boys can have their coop to themselves. And my plan is with this, I know it's pretty big. I'm hoping it'll work for my 6 boys and sit here and move it around my yard. A lot of people call them like chicken tractors and stuff like that, but I'm actually calling it a duck tractor because I don't got any chickens. So the thing that I'm planning, like I said, I'm planning to sit here and have it go around my yard and things like that. So like all of the yard out here, I'm just gonna plan on moving them about and stuff like that everywhere, and where they need to be, like, you know, moved, of course, and sit there and occasionally move them, probably like maybe once a day move them and stuff like that for with my morning chores and things like that. One thing I did not show you guys yet, it's a work in progress, and it'll definitely be like a work in progress for the next my guess would be 5 years or so. Like, I don't plan on having it done anytime soon. Is something that I want to do is a milk shed. A lot of when I've been milking previously, I've been milking here in our barn area, and I kind of just want a separate area for my milking, and I eventually want to try this is my plan right now. I know it might change in the next couple years, but try and sit here and get almost like a dairy farm, something going on. This is where I want to put the milk shed, but I want to put it up against the barn. In the barn, I'm going to have to sit here, and I'm going to cut out a doorway and stuff like that. And also sit here and make like a room in the barn to have like my milk processed and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thoughts that I've been having lately with milking. I mean, milking goats and then breeding goats, selling the babies, kind of keeping the babies and stuff like that. So that is my plan for the future right now. Like I said, it may change, it may not, who knows, but I'm definitely, like I said, not going to be planning on doing anything certain for like right now. But I plan to sit here and within the next like 5-10 years have a milk shed at least, and then maybe have a spot eventually in the barn to have it processed and either be sent somewhere to be bottled, or see if I can get it bottled, do it here myself, and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my plans, and I'm super excited for it. I've been talking with one of the ladies over everything here in Arizona about doing that kind of stuff, and so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm definitely thinking more though on the self-sufficient side of having like milk for us. I know I've talked to my husband for a little bit, thinking about maybe in the future of getting a dairy cow instead of doing dairy goats, mostly because we drink more cow's milk, I feel like, than goat's milk and stuff like that. Goat's milk I've been only using to make cheese and stuff like that, so I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, so that's basically what we're doing right now. I know next year for my garden, I feel like I'm all over the place, but next year for my garden, I'm definitely wanting to get more mulch, I guess you could say, compost, in my garden area, in the ground, to help grow it, because this year, like I said, I jumped the gun, started planting stuff before I had a watering system down, before I had compost and stuff like that down. So like a lot of the stuff that I planted did not grow at all, which is kind of disappointing on my side, because last year I had an amazing harvest. Like, I had a lot of stuff for my small garden that I had last year, and this year I expanded probably like 3 times the size of my garden last year. So I'm hoping to next year have a bigger garden to help sit here and provide for my family, like in different types of food, like corn, green beans, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, sauces, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my plans, and I'm super excited for the milk shed. I don't know, it just makes me super excited to have like a big project, something to look forward to over the next couple years and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.